If a patient walks in with fatigue and brain fog and sleeplessness, insomnia and leaky gut and chronic pain in all their joints, a lot of people, and allergies, right? Now you know that they have some immune dysregulation. And if they can win even by 25% in 1 week, because we changed certain triggers that turned on different aspects of the genes, and then they had different proteins produced, and then they felt happy by 25%, then we can kind of extrapolate and say, okay, hey, look, what we did was bare minimum. In 1 week, we were able to see that on this ACE process, we changed the affirmations, we change your redox status,
Right.
we change your proteins. Peptides are proteins, enzymes are proteins, amino acids put together. So we changed how DNA is making all these different proteins, and now you feel better in less than a week.
What if aging isn't about slowing down, but leveling up? I'm Dr. Isaac Jones. This is the Longevity Leaders Podcast.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Ashley Beckman here with the Longevity Leaders Podcast, and I have with us Dr. Ace.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate you for inviting me.
So tell me a little bit about your kind of signature process and program. It's very fascinating.
My signature process. So my name is Ace.
Yes.
My clinic name is Ace Integrative Health, and the process is Ace My Health. So ACE stands for Affirm, Confirm, Experience. And according to Christianity, for one, cultural or religious and ancient understanding, Philippians chapter 4, 6, 7, and 8 talks about making a petition. When you're anxious, make a petition, prayer, and thanksgiving. Well, that petition is a prayer, but that's the affirmation. So that's the A in ACE. And then we have to have thanksgiving with it. So ACE is a process in my clinic. When patients come in, they have certain amount of thoughts, beliefs about the disease and the process and the culture and the conventional world and the integrated world, functional world. And we have to change those affirmations into a petition detailed with thanksgiving. So gratitude has to be there. C is the confirmation. So Philippians 7 talks about when God gives you the blessings upon you, you have to protect your heart and mind. From what? As doctors, we have to protect our heart and mind from ego and greed. For patients, they have to protect their heart and mind from doubt and fear in this process, in this world, because they're apprehensive and whatnot. So AC is the confirmation allows us to do that because God gives us the blessings. And then E is the eternal experiences. So let's say somebody reversed their disease or they're feeling better. They got their goal.
Right.
Then what's the experience that they're having? Is it awesome that I won my Ferrari and whatever? No, it's the quality of Philippians 8, what it talks about, few qualities of the Spirit, which are, there are many, but it talks about what is beautiful, what is kind, what is lovely, what is admirable, what is praiseworthy, what is noble. And there are other qualities of the Spirit, and that's what we focus on. And at the end of that process, what's encouraged in the clinic and what I talk to patients is, I became the catalyst and I was able to be honored to be part of your healing journey. I became the messenger of God's blessings.
Right.
Or the conduit of the knowledge that you are able to use. Now it's your turn to exude and emit through your senses and through your actions and through your words all the positivity that you can do in the world. Whether you help one other person or your family or your patients or yourself. But it's about the changing the mind so that you can emit positivity. So, we say that we are made in mirror image of God, right?
Okay.
And what does that mean? That means that you have a mirror, hypothetically, let's just say that. And what's inside is exactly like God, mirror image of God. So if that's there, what's my discernment is that am I supposed to cover that light with darkness and emit all the fear and anxiety and doubt and anger? Or is my discernment of life is to open that and emit positivity and all the positive things of the spirit and joy and love and kindness and forgiveness. So that becomes a process at a disease level, because every disease has started at some level in their life at a mental and emotional level. Some things happen in childhood or in utero or in pregnancy. Maybe the ancestral genes were passed down with hereditary programming. And then some events happen, some situations happen that trigger those genes to turn on. And then they will make proteins, hormones, neurotransmitters. And if those things are in disharmony, proteins are misfolded, then you're not going to be able to feel happiness. So the programs, products, feelings, and then it circles back around because the feelings stimulate the same. So if somebody had a emotion of fear and doubt, what genes do you think we're going to turn on? Things that make you feel more doubt and fear. And then those proteins are made, and then you feel the same thing again. So it's a cycle. So in the practice of, I'm a family doc, MD, practice, conventional medicine as well. And now we have integrative practice. And we incorporate all the holistic nutrition and yoga and, genetics, precision world. And in that whole process, we're looking at what are the things that we're bringing into the body through eyes, ears, nose, as well as the thoughts, all the senses. How are they turning on the genes? What is the outcome? And we're tracking it on a weekly basis to see wins. So if a patient walks in with fatigue and brain fog and sleeplessness, insomnia and leaky gut and chronic pain in all their joints, a lot of people, and allergies, right? And now you know that they have some immune dysregulation. And if they can win even by 25% in 1 week, because we changed certain triggers that turned on different aspects of the genes, and then they had different proteins produced, and then they felt happy by 25%, then we can kind of extrapolate and say, okay, hey, look, what we did was bare minimum in 1 week. We were able to see that on this ACE process, we changed the affirmations, we changed your redox status, we changed your proteins. Peptides are proteins, enzymes are proteins, amino acids put together. So we changed how DNA is making all these different proteins. And now you feel better in less than a week. So then it buys them we're triggering the reward pathway. It's like training a dog, essentially. We want to feel the wins so that we can take the next steps. So that's kind of like the process that I take all of my patients through. And then I teach other doctors on that same process regarding how to think about what we're bringing in, how our redox molecules are changing at a DNA level, and then how are they happening at a protein, peptide, enzyme level, because those are amino acids. And then what does that make you feel at a emotional level, mentally, right? So that's kind of like the whole process where we take redox. I mean, everything is a redox because it's an exchange of electrons. Light going on my face, something happening in my DNA, that's an exchange of photons and electron changes, right? So all of that kind of goes into a big matrix in a way, but it's simplified for the patients.
What does this look like in practice for you?
If you're a medical doctor, nurse practitioner, chiropractor, or other health expert that's stuck in a broken system, there's a better way. The Freedom Webinar shows you a proven 5-step system to build a 7-figure virtual health practice, or how to modernize your current brick and mortar practice without the burnout. Learn to create high-ticket programs, automated income, residual revenue, and attract clients ready to work with you. Book your $1 million strategy session today by clicking the link in the description.
So, we have a brick and mortar practice, we have virtual practice, and when a new patient walks in, we have a 2-hour long visit with them initially. I'm trying to understand their upbringing, their emotional state, what triggered it, what kind of events happened prior to the first symptoms. Sometimes a divorce happens and 3 years later something
Right.
happens to their body.
Yes.
So there's always some trigger that leads. So I'm understanding all of those things. And then we kind of, guide patients on a week-to-week basis to get them the wins.
Right.
And then we space out the visits over time, over 3 months, 6 months. So the visits then space out to every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, every month. And as they become confident in their new body, essentially, because new proteins are being made, and most people have something called redox deficiency. I don't know if you've heard that before.
Definitely. I wanted you to go into redox
Oh,
a bit
okay.
more, so let's dive into it.
Yeah, so there is a redox deficiency, and we talk about redox, how it's so important in our life. We look at NAC, glutathione, nitric oxide, all these different molecules that have positive and negative charges, but they are helping different pathways and stabilizing redox pathways and whatnot. I am talking about a global, head to toe, every single cell requiring redox molecules. And the reason being, as we age, we found out with our genetic testing that there are 20% of the genes are dedicated to producing redox molecules in the body. So if there are 20% of the genes that are dedicated for producing redox molecules, those redox molecules are not interfering with a process, enzymatic process. They're adding electrons to the enzyme, which is a protein, so that the protein can fold better. The conformational change that happens at a protein level so that the glucose can become ATP and you get more energy can happen efficiently. So if somebody has fatigue, let's say that their protein is going at 20 miles per hour and they're super tired. They have 2 out of 10 energy in the day. That means that the enzyme is working at 20 miles per hour speed. How do you make something work better? Well, you have to, let's say for an example of a car, you have to oil it, lubricate it.
Right.
Well, same thing with the proteins. Proteins have to be lubricated, and we have genes that make redox molecules. These molecules provide electrons, and they remove electrons, and that's a lubrication for the enzyme. So then enzymes then start working 30 to 300% faster. So then Mrs. Smith comes in and she has fatigue, 2 out of 10's energy level. And a week later, because her enzyme sped up, now she has 20%, 40%, 60% more energy in just 1 week. And she feels it. So redox is reduction and oxidation that allows us to exchange electrons. But the electrons are what makes the conformation change of the protein, carbon and hydrogen and oxygen, the angles at which elements are bound.
Right.
That's because of the electron flow. If you don't have electrons, then you get double bonds because they have to share electrons. The double bonds are very stiff. Once you get to a single bond, then it's movable,
Right.
So that's what redox does. And we have to think about redox as a deficiency because as we age, our body is not producing the 20% of the DNA. It's not being read as fast enough. We're not as fast as a 10-year-old kid who falls down and gets right back up.
Right.
If I fall, I'm like 40% slower than the little kid. Right. So we're working slow, although we're young, but we accept that aging process. But we don't have to. We can anti-age and we can still jump right up like a 10-year-old kid, even at age of 60, if we have enough lubrication, which is the redox molecule. So redox becomes a fuel for every single trillions of biological processes that are happening because they're all dependent on enzymes. Enzymes are proteins. They're huge. If you bring them small, then they become peptides because they're smaller chains.
Yes.
So then we can use different proteins, the protein structures, peptides to stimulate these other enzymes to work better.
What are you using to help with this redox deficiency?
So there are individual molecules, let's say glutathione, NAC,
Right.
nitric oxide, and there are a bunch of them. Then there are essential oils. They have tremendous amount of natural redox molecules that are in there. Then you have just regular water
Mm-hmm.
that can be electrocuted,
Right.
so-called, and it produces redox molecules like hydrogen
Mm-hmm.
that you can inhale, you can drink.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have oxygen.
Right.
We create isomers of oxygen
Mm-hmm.
in our machine in our office
Mm-hmm.
from O6 to O64.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like we create these isomers of oxygen and then we put them in a plasmoids.
Mm-hmm.
And those plasmoid nanobubbles, like one small droplet of a water will have 1 trillion nanobubbles of isomers of oxygen.
Oh, wow.
So then they go into your body
Mm-hmm.
and you can drink it, you can absorb it. So that's a redox molecule.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have salt water.
Mm-hmm.
There's a company called ASEA. So
Mhm.
they have a salt water where they take water and salt, put them together, and then they electrocute that,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have electrocution of regular distilled water. You have electrocution like the ocean. It
Right.
gets lightning strikes.
Yeah.
Salt water get lightning strikes, and now you have coral reefs and everybody surviving in there.
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, in our body, we have, because the medium of communication between us is air
Mhm.
right now.
Right.
The medium of communication between our cells is water.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to have our water as clear as like the Hawaiian blue water
Mm-hmm.
compared to a murky pond water,
Right.
because you're not going to find nice fishes in a pond water. Same thing, it gets congested in our murky cells. The more toxins, the chemicals, the glyphosates, and whatever, right? All these chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, pathogens, it makes a goo murkiness
Yep.
in our cells. And then it slows everything down. And we want to clear that. So the only way to clear that is by adding different types of water, different types of redox molecules that clear, clean, and filter all the water out so the cellular communication becomes efficient.
Mm-hmm.
So ASEA is another thing. There's a gold nanoparticle.
Mm-hmm.
So we use gold, micro nanoparticle size of gold,
Mm-hmm.
along with redox to get it inside our nervous system, spinal cord,
Yeah.
joints to help trigger, because gold is a noble element and it doesn't change when you mix it with other things.
Mm.
It stays steady,
Mm-hmm.
right? A lot of things react, right? If you have iron, it becomes iron oxide, right?
Yeah.
So, but gold doesn't do that. Gold stabilizes all the, so think about like a high-end computer, like a HDMI wire, right? They're all gold plated,
Right.
like some
Yeah.
of the best ones,
Yeah, they are.
right?
Mhm.
And that's because the gold stabilizes the electrical flow much better. So the electron transfer happens way better inside the body in, let's say, a neurological disease, pick any one of them,
Mm-hmm.
from young child to a 95-year-old person,
Right.
any neurological conditions, nerves are electricity.
Mhm.
So it works better. So we use those redox molecules in our body as well. And
Mhm.
then let's say you gave somebody vitamin A or vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
It goes inside the liver and then goes inside the kidneys, and enzymes convert it and make it active vitamin D. Those enzymes that are converting the vitamin D into active vitamin D,
Mm-hmm.
they have a speed. I would want that to happen much faster.
Right.
But that's only going to happen if these other redox molecules are there. They serve as a fuel. So what we notice is that anything that we use, from essential oils to yoga to, any medications, they work better when the cellular communication is clear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's clarity only happens when we have enough enzymes that are not malformed, like ALS, MS, all
Right.
of these are
Yeah.
proteinopathies.
Right.
Hardest to treat.
Fair.
But that's because they're in a murky water.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
Very
the person
murky.
might look perfectly normal from the outside, their cellular cells are murky,
Right.
and that's messing up the protein conformation. So that's something that we test.
Mm-hmm.
We have machines that test for murkiness of the cells,
Mm.
actual cell. We test the DNA, organ-specific DNA through
Mhm.
some of these companies.
Yeah.
We have full genome sequencing. We do 50 million DNA variant without imputation data.
Mm-hmm.
So no guesswork.
Mm-hmm.
If we measure it, we tell you. Most of the companies aren't doing that. We add all the inheritance patterns, the zygosities, the metabolic pathways, the um, metabolizing effects, the odds ratios of every single variant. Like,
Wow.
I don't see any genetic company doing that.
Yeah.
So we're doing that
Mm-hmm.
in our genetic lab. So it allows us to become extremely precise with data supporting every win.
Mm-hmm.
Every decision that we make is supported by a data. And this is how we're doing it. This is the expectation. We're going to retest it. We're going to see how you change. And that win is priceless because every patient wants to win and they want to know the trajectory of their speed of healing.
Right.
And that's the hardest thing that we have. Like, what do I do? Activated charcoal or zeolite clay? Leaky gut protocol? Like,
Right.
what's going to
Yeah.
work when?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the art that we're teaching now, all the doctors
Yeah.
in our.
It's a lot of precision.
It is precision. And I think with longevity and everything that we're talking about with every other doctor here, we want to make it easy.
Yes.
And we want to make it a little bit more precise. And that's going to move the needle in the entire field of medicine,
Correct. Yeah.
right? Not just in this niche market.
For the essential oils, is it essential oils in general or, I mean, clean, good
Yeah,
quality,
yeah,
or
yeah,
is
yeah.
it specific ones that have higher frequency that are optimal for
So
them?
what I do is like we have, so I like data and I like mechanism of action.
Right.
So I want to know everything that's inside that essential oil.
Mhm.
So I like to get the GCMS report. I read them. I look at every molecule. I add them up as long as they're adding up to 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there are no unknowns on the GCMS report
Mm-hmm.
because unknown could be a pesticide. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
So as long as they're not there and we can look at those, then you can use pretty much any essential oil. Each
Mhm.
one of them has a different property.
Right.
And you can use them on meridian channels,
Mhm.
topically, ingest it like through the
Right.
nasal, diffusing,
Mhm.
and apply it on different meridian points.
Yes.
And there are ways to use them.
Yep.
You can put them on different areas of the body to get different effects.
Yeah.
But their skin is one of the biggest organs that we have.
Yes.
When you put oils on them, it's almost the same thing as putting it under your tongue because it is still going to get absorbed by your skin.
Right.
And if it gets absorbed by your skin and it has all these positive, negative charges inside the oil, then it's going to cause certain changes in your cell. All the cells are made up of cell wall. And the cell wall has lipid bilayer.
Right.
And that lipid bilayer is much more, how do I say, if it's more diverse, then it's better for the cell
Mm-hmm.
because then it can have better protection for
Right.
the internal content of the cells. So the diversity of the lipid bilayer of any cell comes when it comes in contact with all these pure oils.
Right. Yeah.
Because now the cells are taking them, incorporating it on the outside.
Mhm.
And then some of them do go all the way down to the DNA. We
Mhm.
have the data on them. Studies have been done on, like, for example, lavender,
Right.
how it activates so many different pathways in the body, from cholesterol to anxiety, and how it makes somebody feel calm because it's turning on certain DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And it works as a liaison to go all the way down to the DNA and RNA and turn on the protein production. So it's kind of interesting. It's
for sure.
very detailed. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
narrate the whole journey of how the oils can work. Yeah.
Well, so in Chinese medicine,
Yeah.
we talk about the essential oils or the jing or
Yeah.
the essence of plants.
Yeah.
So they're like the deepest, most pure, and most precious
Yeah.
part of the plant,
Yeah.
all just condensed.
Yeah.
So it's really fascinating. I love using oils on meridian points.
Yeah.
And so it's very interesting that you're using it in this capacity.
Yeah. It's looking at a human body and saying, which are the 5 senses I want to use?
Mm-hmm.
Do I only want to put things in the mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I also want to put lights on, which
Right.
are through the eyes, could
Yeah.
be? Or do I want to use essential oils through the skin? Do I want them to ingest something through their nose? maybe you can hear sound vibrations and
Right. Yeah.
in like brain tap, right? Like you can
Yes.
do
Yeah.
those kind of things, and ears. So if you address all five senses, then you can address pretty
Mm.
much all the genes through those five senses.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a hypothesis that you can reverse diabetes just by listening to something,
Wow.
right? Dr.
Yeah.
Porter talks about those
Yeah.
kind of things,
Yes.
and how does that work, right? How does somebody's cells become more sensitive to insulin so that their sugar levels in their blood go down just by listening to something?
Mm-hmm.
That's because the sound vibrations, the sound frequencies turn on the DNA pathway to make the cells more acceptable to GLUT1, 2, 3, 4 receptors so that the insulin come and bind to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole pathway that we are, people know,
Yes. Yeah.
but it's something that we have to make it simple for all the patients so that they can trust in those processes and get the win that they're looking for
Right.
in the most natural way, right? I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
it's not, we have to protect ourselves from greed and ego.
Right.
So as long as we're doing it in a most natural way, I think we would be humble enough to follow that protocol,
For sure.
Yeah.
Anything that you'd like to share kind of before we go, or how people can reach out to you?
Sure. I have an online coaching class for
Okay.
direct to consumers,
Okay.
and that's different than my clinic.
Right.
So the online coaching for direct to consumers, if you guys want to reach out, then it's acemyhealth.us
Okay. Perfect.
or .us.
Right.
So heal the US, right? Kind of
Yes.
Ace My Health. And then the aceih.com,
Mm-hmm.
aceintegrativehealth.com. That's the clinic website. So that's where I see patients. The online stuff is education,
Perfect.
where patients can learn, interact. We do live classes or live group calls online. So
And you're working on teaching practitioners as well?
yeah, we have weekly live classes for practitioners who want to learn things that I'm doing from a peptide perspective,
Oh, great.
from redox perspective, and from epigenetic perspective.
Perfect.
So because I do a lot of full genome sequencing, we have peptide genomics.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Very cool.
we're the first one in the
Yeah.
country to have peptide genomics. So
Nice.
everybody
Pairing it up with what we need.
yeah, everybody who's doing peptides, let's say thymosin alpha, for
Yeah.
example, like that's approved in 35 other countries in the world, and it's pretty safe.
Right.
And you want to know the dosage and you want to know how it works for your body, then you would want to do peptide genomics
Mm-hmm.
and find out where you fall on the spectrum, because 1 milligram of thymosin based on your genetic variant and the odds ratio of the genetic variant,
Right.
because we were giving all of that data, can give you, let's say, double the effect. Or your genetic variant has an odds ratio that allows you to understand that, you know what, my friend got the same effect at 1 milligram, but I might need 2 or 3
Right.
because I need double the dose, not half the dose.
Ooh.
So you can kind of set expectations for the patients as a provider. And we're doing all of those things as well, and training practitioners to think holistically in a epigenetic fashion, where essential oils, yoga, prayers, structured water, what kind of things can you do? Light and sounds, right? All the vibrations. What kind of things can you do that turn on your DNA?
Mm-hmm.
Do the epigenetic test to see the outcome in a data.
Right.
We have labs that are epigenetic testing companies. So you can do before and after to see how essential oils worked. You can do before and after to see how yoga worked and how genetics, and to make it more precise, we're doing full genome sequencing. So I teach all the practitioners that whole approach of how to think that. So then it's easier for them in their practice to implement and conceptualize how to make it more practical and easy.
Right. And implement.
So that site is the same, acemyhealth.us.
Okay.
So there is under the store, there is a practitioner coaching thing, a class.
Yes.
Right. That you can click on.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
That's very
they're
exciting.
right there, both at the same time. Consumer, the
Yeah,
providers are right there.
perfect.
But yeah, thanks for asking. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much. This has been really interesting. You've woven together some of my favorite topics. Yeah, peptides, redox, TCM, essential oils, and
Yeah,
genetics. So,
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, the world of plants are miraculous.
yes,
I mean,
we have a lot to learn from
yeah,
them.
we have a lot to learn. Before I leave, just one last thing. So this is a whole new concept. And I think it's a new concept. I'm sure other people have done that before, but but I haven't heard it often enough. Um, each part of the brain has the ability to go into alpha waves separately, and everything that's all the plants that we have, they emit certain amount of emission, electron flow, vibrations, frequencies that can be converted into musical sound for healing. So being with the plants, for example, they absorb certain amount of light, but they emit all the red light off. So if you're in the trees or in the jungle next to a green plant
Right.
on a sunny day, we are receiving all the infrared, far infrared red light. Plant is not absorbing them. So it works as a way to anti-age just by being in nature and listening to and feeling those frequencies because it's a
Yeah.
music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chinese theory, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
If you're sick, you're supposed to go sit under a tree.
Oh, really?
That's the
Yeah,
prescription.
exactly.
That used to be a
Yeah.
prescription.
That's interesting. That's funny.
So,
But
which
yeah,
that's one thing that's nice to weave in these ancient
Yeah.
modalities
Mhm.
because we have to reconnect back with
Yeah.
nature.
yeah.
It's very
Yeah, the ACE process has many connections to ancient things. Like ACE can stand for mind, word. So affirming with the mind, confirming with your words, and the sound, and experiencing with your body.
yeah.
So from the ancient Buddhist, perspective, other cultures, Hindu, they talk about mind, words, and the body, the Holy Trinity, and all these different things. So
Yep.
it kind of makes sense from that perspective as well. But it is a blend of Eastern Western medicine. But I appreciate you for asking. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Longevity Leaders Podcast. Our Longevity Leaders community is on mission to transform 100 million lives by 2040. If you enjoyed this show, please share this with somebody that you know, especially another doctor or physician, but also click that follow button. Until next time, stay strong and live long.